One of the best parts of gardening, and certainly for me, is veggie gardening. Everybody wants something fresh and healthy and nutritious, but there are a couple of things that we always get wrong. And today we're going to show you the why, the how, and most importantly, what you need to be using to get it right. There are a couple of fundamentals. Most importantly, it always starts with the soil. A good, healthy, friable soil that has a lovely layer of mulch on top of it. Make sure that you are going to have the right environment for these beautiful veg to grow. And most importantly, to get big, gorgeous veg, we always talk about nutrition. But if we don't have the right nutrition, we ain't gonna get the results. And we're gonna break that down and explain it to you why you need it and what it does. So when it comes to nutrition, we automatically gravitate towards a fertilizer, and that's 100% correct. Traditional fertilizers, which we all gravitate to, have a very high amount of urea. Urea is generally the stuff that can do a bit of damage. And what that does is it can cause burn, and plus, as gardeners, we overuse. So what manufacturers do is that they include filler content in order to get that percentage right. The filler content has no use for us gardeners. It simply just bulks up the bag. So we're putting down fertilizer and we're not getting the maximum. That's about to change, guys. And that is why we are using this. Guys, this is called KynoVeg. So what's special about KynoVeg? Well, here's the thing. No fillers, no bulking agents are used. So I know everything in this bag is nutrition, pure nutrition. What has been put into this are trace elements and micronutrients, the essential building blocks of what we're needing to get good veg. So we all know N, P, and K, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Guys, every other fertilizer has got this, but there are a couple of differences. The N, which is the nitrogen, which gives you leafy growth, it's the most important element of growth. But this nitrogen minimizes burn because it's been stabilized. What does the P mean? P is for root growth. It's essential for good roots because we know if we don't have good roots in the ground, well, what you want on top ain't gonna happen. The last one, which is the K, and K stands for potassium. That's about the periodic table, but all I want you to think about and to know is the following. The K means strong growth. It is the building blocks of bringing the sugars and the starch from the roots all the way up to the leaves to produce good leaf growth, good fruit, strong cells. On top of the N, P, and K, there's something else that's been added. These are the secondary elements. And what are those? That's sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. So what does sulfur do? Well, sulfur helps with the formation of protein, which provides the building blocks for rapid growth after seed and germination. It also plays a role in the production of chlorophyll. And we know that chlorophyll is that green pigment in leaves and the stems, which is the engine of the plant. Without sulfur, plants cannot efficiently use nitrogen, which then, if you don't have it, causes the yellowing in the leaves. So we all know that we need calcium. And what does it do in plants? Well, what it does is it helps produce plant tissues which help with plant growth. It forms part of the plant wall, which gives fruit a longer shelf life. And it also promotes cell division and rapid growth. Magnesium, which is the final secondary element, plays a huge role in the functioning of plants. Probably the most important, as it is the building block of chlorophyll, which we know is the green stuff, which makes leaves greener and which aids in photosynthesis. It also activates important plant enzymes that are needed for growth. I'm preparing a bed, and this soil is just beautiful, soft and friable. It's had loads of compost in it and mulch. And now I'm going to be adding in the KynoVeg as bed preparation. And guys, if you forget things, it's okay, because everything is written on the back. Here's your application guide, and this is soil preparation just before planting. Really simple. All right, what they've also done is something quite unique. And take a look here. 250 grams, because they say to you 80 grams per square meter. Oh, well, what is that? I don't have a scale. However, In this application, 250 grams is 250 mils, which is a cup. All right, so use your cup as your measurement. Because the applications are so simple on the back of the packet, read up what you're planting and then follow the application rates. And remember, when prepping, that is before planting, is different to when just feeding. So I've got my cup, it's 70 grams per square meter. This is just under 1 square meter, so we would be going with just under half a cup. That is not much at all, guys. And that is going to be sprinkled over the area that we are busy prepping. Remember, when applying your fertilizer and prepping, to try and get it as evenly as possible in order to disperse those amazing nutrients into the soil. Once your fertilizer has been applied, all you need to do is work it into the soil and incorporate it at least to the depth of a small trowel. It's important to do this because we're getting it, all the nutrition right into the root zone, because that's where the nutrition is taken up from the plant's roots and then distributed into the rest of it so that these little guys can grow up and be big and strong. And remember, it's about sustained nutrition. And because this fertilizer will release at controlled amounts, we know that these little guys are going to be very happy for the next 4 to 6 weeks, getting everything that they need. Right, guys, now that these are in, all that we need to do is give them a good watering, because that triggers the fertilizer to become available to these plant roots. The next game changer is that this KynoVeg doesn't only have the macro and the secondary, but it's also got trace elements. So what are those? Well, there's zinc. Zinc helps for the synthesis of certain proteins and plant growth hormones, and it's used in the formation of chlorophyll, the green stuff that we've spoken about, which again is needed for photosynthesis. Zinc also helps the plant to withstand cold temperatures and makes them more resilient. Iron is the next one, which helps with the formation of chlorophyll and is essential to the maintenance of the chloroplast structure. It also has manganese, which helps with photosynthesis, pollen germination, pollen tube growth, root cell elongation, and resilience to root pathogens. In other words, manganese is really important for protection of your plant against all the bad guys. KynoVeg also has copper added, which is important in many of the internal plant processes. And finally, boron, which is needed for pollination and promotes cell division and growth. It also forms part of the plant wall that helps give fruit a longer shelf life. So all these trace elements, when combined, plus with the NP and the K, which is the traditional fertilizer, added into this bag, and the secondary nutrients, guys, gives me everything I need for these little guys to get big and strong, produce amazing, good leafy veg and fruit. All in one bag, nothing else needed. 4 to 6 weeks after planting, apply Kyno shrub, flower and fruit for optimal growing results. KynoVeg is available in both 2 and 5 kg bags from most leading garden centres. Kynoch Fertilisers, enhanced efficiency through innovation.